Meine Damen und Herren, herzlich willkommen auf der BeSt³ Wien 2019 hier bei uns im Vortragssaal 3. Ein interaktiver Vortragssaal, deshalb begrüße ich auch alle, die zu Hause zusehen oder die sich vielleicht das Video dann später ansehen, vielleicht auch in einem Jahr. Schön, dass Sie auch mit dabei sind. Es gibt nämlich sehr, sehr viel Interessantes hier zu erfahren. Und jetzt soll es wieder ums Studium gehen, also ums Studieren. Und studieren kann man ja nicht nur in Österreich, sondern logischerweise überall auf der Welt. Wir haben heute schon ein bisschen über Studieren in den USA gehört. Auch da können Sie das Video unter www.bestinfo.at nachschauen. Jetzt soll es aber auch um ein englischsprachiges Studium gehen, allerdings natürlich in Großbritannien. Und da habe ich jetzt 3 Damen bei mir, die Ihnen da jetzt alle Infos geben, aber wir werden jetzt gleich zuschauen, ein Kriterium für die Aufnahme eines Studiums in Großbritannien ist die Sprache. Deshalb werden wir das Ganze jetzt auch in englischer Sprache abhalten. Ich hoffe, das ist in Ordnung, können gleich alle ein bisschen mitüben und schauen, ob das funktioniert mit dem Studieren im Ausland, im englischsprachigen. Ich begrüße bei mir Megan John, Virág, Varga und Annie Bell, und sie werden Ihnen in den nächsten ca. 20 Minuten alles über das Studieren in the UK erzählen. Ja? Viel Vergnügen. Und nachher gibt es natürlich die Möglichkeit, Fragen zu stellen.
So, hello and welcome to our presentation on studying in the UK. My name is Virág Varga. I'm an IELTS administrator and exams coordinator at the British Council, and this is my colleague Megan John.
Hi, I'm Megan. I'm an exams assistant at the British Council in Austria. And this year we're joined by Annie Bell from Universities UK International, who will talk a little bit at the end about Brexit and what it could mean for you.
Yeah, so today we're going to cover practical information, how you can apply, how to choose your study path, what kind of degrees are there in the UK, which universities you can apply to, and then I'll tell you the application procedure. Yep.
Yeah, so I'm going to start about why you should really study in the UK. So studying in the UK opens up doors to a wide range of opportunities after your degree for you. So the UK is home to 4 of the world's top 10 universities, and it's second in the world for university-industry collaboration. So there's really lots of opportunities for you if you choose to study in the UK. Over half of the university research in the UK is classed as world leading, and this can also be seen with the 107 Nobel Prize winners. There are also over 160 higher education institutions in the UK, so there really are loads and loads of opportunities for you. It's not just one university in the UK, there are really loads to pick from. Also, 91% of international students have said that they were satisfied with their degree in the UK, so that's quite a high figure. Aside from gaining a world-class education, you could study at the UK's most haunted university, which is Durham. You could also go to a historical university, UCL, which was the first to admit female students on the same campus as men in 1878. Or you could go to the University of Cambridge, where the poet Lord Byron kept a bear as a pet in order to protest against the ban on pet dogs. So this is a bit squeaky. So yeah, there are loads of places to go to. Can I say you might be worried about being all alone if you pick to study in the UK, but don't worry. The UK is very, very international, and there are over 500,000 international students at university in the UK, and these students come from over 200 countries. Approximately 14% of undergrad students are international students, and 35% of postgrad students and 30% of academic staff are from outside of the UK. So you really won't be alone if you're worrying about that. There's also a diverse population and multi-faith society, and universities also have societies and clubs that you can join to meet other international students or British students if you wanted. There's really a club for any hobby or religion or faith that you could possibly have. For example, you could join a knitting society if you really wanted to, or the Quidditch club, and there's really everything for you. Where is it? Also, universities in the UK are obliged to offer you welfare support, and there's also always a student counsellor that you can go to if you're feeling a bit blue or you need someone to talk to. So the different types of degrees that you can gain in the UK are similar to here in Austria. So you could do a bachelor, which is typically 3 years. Typically a 3-year course. However, you can turn this into a 4-year course by opting to do a year abroad in a country of your choice. However, you just have to make sure that the university that you're studying has links to that country and university that you're thinking about doing this year abroad at. Masters are typically 1 year, which differs to here in Austria, and PhDs are usually 3 years. The biggest difference with your timetable is that it's computer generated in the UK, so there's no need to spend hours trying to plan your time as you do here in Austria. You just put in the courses that you want to do in the computer, then generates the timetable for you, so that's maybe a big difference. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, there are over 160 higher education institutions in the UK, so it really is a really wide choice for you. However, you can narrow this down by having a look at topuniversities.com. You can see which universities there are for the course that you wish to study. You can also go to timeshighereducation.com and see the rankings for the different universities. The Guardian University Guide and Telegraph University Guide will also show you the rankings for the different universities in the UK. Important factors to consider, however, are when picking a university is where do you want to study? Do you want to be in the north, in the south, east or the west? And are you more interested in a modern university, a campus-based university or a more traditional university? So it's good to have a checklist of what kind of area you'd like to be in. Cost is also a factor. Do you want to, so university in London is life in London is generally more expensive than in other parts of the UK. However, London was ranked as the #1 student city. So yeah, you've got to weigh up the pros and cons of the different universities and pick where you'd like to go. UCAS.com is also a website where you can type in the course that you want to study, and it will show you all the different universities in the UK that offer this course for you. And my colleague Virág will talk about UCAS a bit more later. So for more insider information on studying in the UK, you can go to study-britishcouncil.org, and this will show you social media channels for international students. There's also linked into in-country events to help you find out about education in the UK and how to plan your studies. You can also find out about scholarships that might be available to you, and also there is practical advice and real-life student experiences on here. So there's blogs on top tips on food in the UK, or tips on the weather and what to wear. There are lots of first-hand information on here. So again, for information on costs, fees and scholarships, you can go to study-britishcouncil.org to find out about the scholarships, or you can also go to ukisa.org.uk, and this will also help you narrow down to find what fees would be applicable to you as an Austrian or international student, and also if there are any scholarships that are available to you. So yeah, now I'm going to hand over to my colleague Virág, and she's going to talk you a bit more through the application procedure.
Thank you, Megan. I'm not sure it's working. Yeah. So thank you, Megan. Now I'm going to tell you how to apply if you wish to study in the UK. UCAS, Megan already mentioned, is a very important website. So if you're considering applying, this is the site that will become like a second home to you. Everything is done through UCAS. This is where you have to pick universities where you want to apply, up to 5 universities, upload your personal statement, and eventually accept your offer. You do not need to go to the universities themselves like you would do in Austria. Of course, you can do that, but UCAS is a centralized website for all university applications. So it's really helping you to go through the procedure and gives you tips and advice, what you need to do, what you have to upload, and also gives you all the deadlines you need to meet. If you, however, wish to study a master's, to apply for a master's, then you would have to contact the universities themselves, and they can give you more information about their application periods and the deadlines. But now let's have a look at the deadlines for the 2019-2020 undergraduate entry and applications through UCAS. In general, mid-January, so 15th of January this year was the entry deadline for the majority of undergraduate courses. However, fear not if you haven't applied yet. From the 30th of June, you can still apply through clearing. Actual clearing opens on the 5th of July, but before that you can already submit your application. What is clearing? It's a little bit different in the UK than in Austria. So clearing is when universities advertise their remaining places, their remaining seats for different courses. It might not be your first choice. However, if you look through what is still available, you might still find something that's attractive or you would be interested in studying in. 20th of September is the final deadline for 2019 entry applications, and the 22nd of October is really the last day to add 2019 entry clearing choices for unis and colleges to make the academic year. So once again, UCAS is the website where you would need to go to. Key dates to remember. So 4 main deadlines throughout the year. These deadlines are normally the same every year. So October for courses at universities of Oxford and Cambridge for most courses in medicine, veterinary medicine and science and dentistry. 15th of January is on-time deadline for most undergraduate courses, and March for some art and design courses. The 30th of June is late deadline for most undergraduate courses, and then after, if you submit your application after this deadline, you would automatically go into clearing. 20th of September this year is the final deadline, and applications must arrive at UCAS by 6 p.m. UK time. So you've decided you want to study in the UK. We would like to tell you a couple of things to consider before you start your application. What admissions teams are looking for when reviewing your application is your qualifications. Different universities will want different grades depending on the course you wish to study. You will also need to write a personal statement that is uploaded to UCAS. This has a maximum of 4,000 characters, or around 47 lines. It's really important what you write in this statement. It's the sign of what's to come for tutors. That's basically the entry requirement, or that's how they would select if you're eligible for the course or not, because it has to display your passion, your motivation to the subject area, and also that you have the ability to articulate yourself fluently and accurately in writing in English. And that you have a knowledge and commitment to the subject discipline. If you haven't written such a personal statement before, then you can go to studential.com, so you can see the website over there. There are examples of these personal statements, and the website can also give you tips and tricks on how to write it. Apart from this, you would also need a reference you have to upload to UCAS. It can be written by a teacher or a headmaster at the school where you're currently studying, so just that they can give some reference about you to the institution. Of course, if you wish to study in university in the UK, then there are English requirements. So you have to, apart from your personal statement, you have to prove your knowledge of English. Most of the universities would ask you to take an IELTS exam. IELTS stands for International English Language Testing System, and it's the world's most popular English language test. Last year, there were over 3 million test takers. So it's a really high number. That's why IELTS is also saying that the test opens doors, so it can help you live and study and work all over the world. Currently more than 9,000 institutions would accept the test report form from the test. On a side note, it's also accepted for immigration purposes by all countries that would require one. Another test you could take is the Cambridge Assessment English exams. It's a little bit different from IELTS because IELTS is a diagnostic test. Cambridge exams are level-based exams, so you would apply for different levels. They're also well-known and recognized exams, and provides you with an internationally recognized certificate showing the level you've attained in English. What we always tell students that you would want to check with the university or the institution what kind of exam they would wish. Key websites, so that you remember the most important websites we've already told you. So study-uk.britishcouncil.org is the website to go to find more information about scholarships, in-country events, and tips and tricks from students already living in the country, and social media channels. UCAS.com is the centralized university application website, which would help you through your application. UKCISA.org.uk UK CISA is the website for Council for International Student Affairs, and universitiesuk.ac.uk/international is from our colleagues. If you wish to contact the British Council, then you can go to our website, britishcouncil.at, or follow us on Facebook and Twitter, or just send us an email to exams@britishcouncil.at if you have any questions about the English requirements and further information on studying in the UK. Now I'm handing over to my colleague Annie Bell from Universities UK International. She's going to talk a little bit about Brexit and what is happening in the next academic year.
Thank you, Megan and Virág. And thank you to all of you as well, because I've never been to Vienna before, so I'm very grateful that you have given me this opportunity to be here and visit your beautiful city. Yes, so I'm from an organisation called Universities UK International. We represent 136 of the universities in the UK, so that's actually the majority of them. So at the end you can ask me questions about the various universities that you can study at in the UK. So you may have heard of this thing called Brexit. It's all anyone can talk about in the UK. It's the UK's departure from the European Union. And this is due to happen on the 29th of March, so this month, very soon. And Brexit may change some things for some European students who want to study at a UK university. I suppose the most important thing to say is you can still study at any UK university after Brexit, and in fact we're very keen that you continue to do so. Universities in the UK have a very close relationship with Austria and with the EU generally. These are some facts about our work with Austrian students. There are almost 2,000 Austrian students in the UK at the moment, and we're very keen that you continue to come here. This is a statement that my organisation put out with Universities Austria earlier this month, kind of stating our commitment to continuing to work together. So, what's Brexit potentially going to mean for you? I suppose there are two possible outcomes of Brexit. We could leave the European Union with a deal. A deal has been drawn up between the UK and the EU, and that needs to be voted on in UK Parliament. So we're very much hoping that that will be the case. That's deal. Of course, the alternative is no deal. If the current deal doesn't pass through UK Parliament, then we will leave without a deal, and that will mean something slightly different. So I'm going to cover how each of these possible outcomes could affect tuition fees, visa requirements, and the Erasmus programme for Austrian students such as yourselves. Okay, so I'm going to start on fees. And actually, whether we have a deal or not, the outcome on fees looks broadly the same. If you begin your degree in autumn 2019, so this coming autumn, you will continue to be eligible for home student fees. And that means that you'll be paying the same fees as students from the UK. And it also means that you'll be eligible for financial support to help you cover the cost of your degree. Beyond that, no announcements have been made. It is still possible that if you come to study in the UK in 2020, or even beyond, that you will still be eligible for home student fees. We're waiting for an announcement on that. We're actually expecting an announcement on the 2020 fee status very soon. The most up-to-date information on this is available on that UKISA website that Virág and Megan have already mentioned, and that's updated regularly. So as soon as we have an announcement on fees for the 2020 academic year, that will go up on there. At some point in the future, it's likely that Austrian students will have to start paying overseas student fees. And that means you'll be paying the same as students from outside of the EU. And fees for international students vary a lot. They're set by individual universities, so it depends where you study, and it depends what subject you study. So it's worth doing some research if that happens to find out where maybe the cheapest place to study the subject that you want to study is. And for some subjects, actually, it's not that much more expensive than it is for home students. You're also likely to be eligible for international student scholarships. And again, those are provided by universities and by specific department. So you need to check for the subject that you're interested in at the university you're interested in to find out what funding you're eligible for. Okay. The other thing that may be slightly different after Brexit is your immigration requirements, so the paperwork that you need to enter the UK to study. The good news is, if we leave with a deal, nothing's going to change before January 2021. So actually, if you're starting in the next academic year, 2019, or in 2020, you don't need a visa. You can come in with your Austrian passport. After that, after the 1st of January 2021, you will need something called a study visa. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. And you can work during your degree on a study visa. You're eligible for healthcare on that. Now, if we leave without a deal, again, arriving after January 2021, you'll need that study visa that I mentioned. And if you're arriving before January 2021, you'll need to apply for something called European Temporary Leave to Remain. And that will enable you to stay in the UK for 3 years. The thing to say on visas and on European Temporary Leave to Remain is, firstly, the UK government are actually going through a process at the moment to try and improve the visa application system. They're going to make it as simple as possible. Already, hundreds of thousands of students every year successfully apply for these visas. So it's not something to panic about. And also, UK universities sponsor your visa, which means that actually it's in the university's best interest to make sure that you get that visa, and they offer you so much support to go through that process. So make sure you get in touch with your university offices, and they'll really help you through that. Okay, who has heard of the Erasmus Plus program? I assume you all have. That's good, that's encouraging. And are any of you thinking of maybe studying in the UK as part of Erasmus rather than for the entirety of your degree? Yeah? Okay. So, the really good news is that if there's a deal, you're laughing here, yes, I know it's a little confusing. In the current deal, we are due to remain part of the Erasmus Plus program until it ends in 2020. Which means that nothing will change. Post-2020, there is actually going to be a new Erasmus programme. So the current Erasmus programme expires at the end of 2020. We'll continue to be a part of that programme, and then we will negotiate to be part of the successor programme, the Erasmus successor programme, as it's called. If there's no deal, then again, we will negotiate to be part of the Erasmus successor programme from 2020 onwards. Between now, or Brexit date, the 29th of March, and the beginning of the new programme in 2020, we'll have to negotiate separately to continue to be a part of the Erasmus programme for that short period. And the government, the UK government, is very much committed to staying part of Erasmus until 2020, but that is a separate negotiation that has to happen. And if you have any questions about that, I can talk you through that at the end. So that's kind of just a quick overview of the 3 areas that are likely to be affected by Brexit. Again, I'm happy to take any questions you have. There are lots of little details that you might need to ask about. But again, the best place to go for the latest and most up-to-date information on this is this website, ukisa.org.uk. The information on there is very accurate and as such is a little complicated, but I would recommend they have a number on that website that you can call, and they have an email address, and I would recommend getting in touch with them if there's anything that you're not quite sure about. Okay, thank you very much.
So we're still here for questions, if you have any questions now. Yes?
Moment, ich komme. Oder müsste ich sagen, I'm coming, right? So, da bin schon hier, bitteschön.
Yes, you say that students who start in 2019 or 20 will have the home student fees. is that granted only for that 1 year or for the whole time of study?
No, sorry. So students starting in 2019 will be eligible for student fees throughout their entire time at university. So you don't need to worry about your fee status changing. And you're eligible for student support also throughout your degree.
Noch Fragen? Vielleicht können wir mal abfragen, wer würde sich denn prinzipiell interessieren für ein Studium in the UK?
Yeah, I think we have a couple of questions from the back as well.
Ja, okay. Gibt es noch eine Frage? Wo war denn eine Frage? Okay, ja, bitteschön, der Herr.
Yeah, just a quick question regarding the fees tables at Scottish universities. They tend to be more favorable for European students than for British ones. So can you just very quickly elaborate on that to the extent you know?
Yes, so fees, and this is why I direct you to that website, because actually it is a little complicated, the fees. Fees are different in England, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales. And in Scotland, undergraduate students really don't pay any fees or very small fees. And as EU students, you will be eligible to pay those same fees as Scottish students. Ironically, if you're from England, you have to pay overseas student fees. So you guys are very lucky.
Hat man sogar einen Vorteil, wenn man von Österreich dorthin kommt studieren. So, bitteschön, nützen Sie die Möglichkeit. Jetzt sind hier die Damen hier, die Expertinnen. Gibt es noch Fragen? Ansonsten, wo finden wir Sie? Wo ist der Stand?
Ja, Sie können uns in Halle D auf Stand A18 finden.
Wunderbar. Und vielleicht können Sie so ein bisschen noch Inputs geben. Gibt es irgendwie Erfahrungswerte von Studentinnen und Studenten, die aus Österreich in der UK studieren? Was sagen die so? Was ist das Tolle daran? Haben Sie da Erfahrungen? Gibt es da Austausch?
Yes, not necessarily from university students, but the British Council also has a program called Language Assistance. This year, up to 50 Austrian students went to the UK to help and assist teachers there with their German. And they are all really happy to go to the UK. It's a very good experience. They can practice the language and see other cultures. As Megan also said, it's a really diverse society, so you can really meet interesting people and have some fun.
Wunderbar. Eine Frage gibt es da noch, habe ich gesehen. Ja, bitteschön.
Und zwar, welche Möglichkeiten gibt es, ein Stipendium zu bekommen, vielleicht für ein Studium, oder welche Organisationen kümmern sich um Stipendien? Welche Voraussetzungen gibt es dafür?
Ja, so es ist abhängig davon, für Österreicher und Österreicherinnen. Es gibt eine Webseite grants.at. Sie können das selber nachschauen, was gibt es für ein Vollstudium. Die Kollegin Megan hat auch gesagt, unsere Webseite study-uk.britishcouncil.org. Es hat eine Page, das mit Scholarships und Fees und Kosten viel mehr Informationen haben.
Wunderbar. Gibt es sonst noch eine Frage? Gut, ich glaube, wir haben im Großen und Ganzen alles abgearbeitet. Mich hätte eben auch dieses Thema Brexit noch interessiert, logischerweise. Es ist in aller Munde, aber Sie haben das wunderbar erklärt. Dankeschön dafür. Dann würde ich einfach vorschlagen, wenn es noch konkrete Fragen gibt, den Stand aufzusuchen oder, wie gesagt, sich gerne auch die Präsentationen bei uns online noch einmal anzusehen, www.bestinfo.at. Da gibt es auch noch mal zu Hause alles zum noch einmal in Ruhe anschauen, noch einmal in Ruhe durchlesen. Und dann kann man sich sicher auch bei Ihnen direkt melden, auch unter dem Jahr wahrscheinlich, und noch mal nachfragen, oder? Gut, dann vielen lieben Dank. Dankeschön vielmals auch fürs Interesse im Publikum und zu Hause. Und wir machen in circa 10 Minuten hier weiter mit Gesundheitsberufen. Hatten wir heute noch gar nicht, auch ein ganz spannender Aspekt. Da geht es um medizinische Fachassistenz, eine Berufsausbildung und 3 Berufschancen.